There we go. Now we're getting organized. Okay, and music back. And hopefully this will be the last of our slack-a-lack, because this, my friends, is definitely the last time. And almost, if this doesn't work out, if we get cut off again without a decent discussion, I'm definitely going to just reschedule and just like we'll reconvene next week or something. Stupid sussy internet. So, how is everybody doing? Do we have anybody left over? I understand if people just kind of yeet the hell out. And now I'm super dark. It's weird. Thank you so much for everybody's patience. This will definitely be the last time. If we get cut off, I'm just gonna reschedule for another time and figure something else out. So, for tonight's anxiousness, I have a Guinness Drought Stout. I just had a lovely dinner of kale, balsamic vinegar, and let's see, sweet potato, baked sweet potato. You know what I love about sweet potatoes is you just take them, you throw them in the oven, you bake the shit out of them till they're like mush inside, because they bake inside their casing. Don't poke it or anything. And then it's like, I don't know, I just eat it by hand. It's like a root burrito. Just eat the skin and everything. So cheers, everybody. The world's a little messed, and I'm not surprised. And if you're surprised, then I don't know what to say to you. So, if you haven't caught up, or if you've been busy today, Kyle Rittenhouse, the boy who took a assault rifle across border and brandished it in a situation that really made him an antagonizer, ended up killing a couple of people and injuring another, and there was a trial down for it, and he got off scot-free. So this child managed to take a weapon that he really shouldn't have needed to have access to in the first place. I'm trying to be careful wording this because I'm so angry about it. And, he killed somebody. But as I was explaining before in the last video, before it got cut off, in hyperianism, we discuss all the time reality tunnels, which is pretty much your perception, your everything that's in your peripheral, all the qualia, all the experience of your life that's in the peripheral of your view of and I mean like at a deep like mental awareness. I don't mean like quite literally what you see before me, like me looking at floppy lumps, which you should totally adopt. With reality tunnels, I mean people can have a lot of factors that they look at and they anchor to them, and it makes the reality true for them. I talk about this a lot with QAnon people who just gain enough factors, and some of them are true enough but they use that to create a web and just a perception and a reality tunnel that they just kind of slide down, and it's not real. So what's so great about hyperianism is we really dive deep into the tools and things you can do to gain an awareness of your own reality tunnel, because we all have one. We all have biases and things like that in ways we look at the world. And it's important to develop, some awareness of that and develop some tools to get outside of that so that you can help improve the world. This is not a great place. I'm sorry, this judicial system that we have that is clearly designed to allow people like Kyle Rittenhouse to get off scot-free with their free, their legal kill. Kyle Rittenhouse got his free kill. And now it's just gonna pave the way for other people who feel the same as Kyle Rittenhouse, who see it, quote unquote, rioters or any group of people being angry and going out there and deputizing themselves and taking it upon themselves being a vigilante and going out there with a terribly dangerous weapon. And I think what I was trying to get to, I don't mean to ramble, so let's segue back, because I got cut off. So I'm trying to catch up with what I said before I got cut off and before my stream went out, and what I'm trying to say right now. So on the topic of guns, I am actually somebody who has access to guns, and it's just it would never occur to me ever, and this is just me, to take a gun of that caliber out there to that situation. That's what's so odd to me, even as somebody who is a proponent of guns and who enjoys guns. That's such overkill. It's like bringing a bazooka to kill a mosquito. It's like, that's just for looks. Absolutely. So, I mean, and I don't even want to dive any more into the topic of guns, because that's not my point. My point is a child shouldn't be having that. And I'm just very disappointed, of course, but I am not surprised at all. This is our world, and this is why it's so important now than ever to be involved with hyperianism, at least for me, and to be Hyperian, because we are 100% focused on reason. I'm getting ahead of myself, because I am very just angry about this still. The vitriol and anger is still there, but it's shadow season. There's so much to be angry about, and anger is a part of shadow work. And as Hyperians, we need to use our anger rationally. So I actually didn't want to talk about this situation, this Kyle Rittenhouse situation today, but I just couldn't help it. I had to say something, and perhaps I'll say something more later, and perhaps not. This might be it. Maybe this will be my release, and that's that. Let's see, but there is some people that have requested a mistrial. There is so much about this case if you read into it. So, yeah. So the defense made its first request for a mistrial last week and followed up on Monday with a written motion seeking a mistrial with prejudice based on 3 issues. Among them, Kyle Rittenhouse's attorneys argued that prosecutors brought up a prior incident the judge had previously ruled could not be raised at trial. It involved a video that showed Kyle Rittenhouse witnessing possible shoplifting and saying if he had a gun, he would shoot people. Now, this is what bothers me, and which is just so sussy, is the fact that there's so much information about Kyle's character that truly backs up and paints the big picture of his motives in going out there brandishing the weapon that he did. And for the judge to be like, no, it's ridiculous. Like, absolutely ridiculous. This is very small-minded thinking. Uh, not in our Hyperion house. Absolutely not. Not in our Hyperion house. We don't stand for that. That is shady. That's just promoting the shadow of just most of America, honestly, right now. The whole fantasy and notion of just going out there the super American way, like super cowboy, like yeehaw, like vigilante, just making kills and doing it in such a way that it's just so justified by the people and applauded for it even. How many of those are we going to have in our world? I don't think, as Hyperions, we're not gonna send that. We are not about that, deputizing and taking it upon yourself to do what you want in situations and being an antagonizer and making it worse. And for what? Property? Things are replaceable, lives are not. I hope I didn't lose anybody. I'm so afraid because of the fact that our live stream cut out several times. Dude, this is the Monday Monad theme song. Totally sussy. We have, let's see, oh my gosh. Ben Shapiro is just somebody I could sit and slam all day, but as I said before, we're not here about just slamming, but Ben Shapiro is a perfect embodiment of much shadow and just much that is pent up. Oh, jeez. Ben Shapiro tweets, young white man goes to city to defend private property against rioters, shoots 3 white people trying to kill him. Were they? They're trying to kill him. I'm sorry, when you go to a situation like that with a gun like that, you are now a sussy person, and yeah, you need to be detained. Like, what are you gonna do with that gun? That's overkill. Like I said before, it's like bringing a bazooka into the mix just to kill a mosquito with it. He was wrongfully prosecuted and correctly acquitted. Media, this is evidence that America hates oranges and apples, Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is just ultimately, several people have said this, so this is not original of me to say, but Ben Shapiro is straight up, pretty much a dumb person's idea of a smart man, and the reasoning, it just gives you a headache, and I honestly just don't advise diving into it. I mean, please do if you want, but it just, I'll glance at it occasionally, see, here we go. Ben Shapiro tweets, they want to make a utopian omelet. Your lives are the eggs? What? Loppy, help us. What is happening here? This is Ben Shapiro. This guy has a major platform and he's just constantly arguing like right-wing stuff and just old world, mostly old Terra nonsense. Oh jeez. Is he faking when he's declared not guilty? Honestly, don't get me started on Kyle Rittenhouse's cry reacts. I just don't even care. Okay, we hate Ben Shapiro. We will dodge. Crowder is another one that I detest. And he just tweeted today, Steven Crowder just said, we have two Americans, one that believes minors should not be allowed to carry rifles, one that believes minors should not be violently raped. What? Oh, see, oranges and apples, just because they're like, I'm telling you, this is right-wing nonsense all the time. They often take to like sort of unrelatable things, and it's just like for shock value, essentially. I wouldn't pay any attention to that. I'm showing these things as examples of people who are just like so detached from Abraxian thinking. Of positive liberty thinking. This is just absolute like negative liberty, 100%. Between Ben Shapiro and like Steven Crowder and the mentality of making Kyle Rittenhouse free. This is not a good step towards positive liberty. This is, in fact, a step away from it. And that's what's so concerning about it, because really with especially these kind of people with these platforms that have a lot of people like following them, watching them, and mainly young people. And it's like, I watch a lot of YouTube and I see a lot of this stuff, and it's like no wonder there's people like Kyle Rittenhouse that just get inspired by this stuff. And yeah, that does seem like a good fantasy to just like rally and like charge in and save the day, like on behalf of capitalism, on behalf of the public, on behalf of protecting property. This is the reality we live in. I don't even want to have the conversation of, oh, I hate it. Like, we're here. Like, we just kind of have to accept that. And this is what we have to work with to change, is people with these reality tunnels. It's so important in hyperianism. I might actually do a Monday Moned episode about reality tunnels specifically. Alright, I'm just looking at a couple things. Wait a bit. Pardon moi. Definitely don't want that. Alright. I apologize, my friends. I'm just pulling up some screens that I lost just a moment ago. Good thing we have this chill music. Okay. I guess I'll just leave the other live up. I don't even know what to do. What happens when that all chops up? Well, we're still going good. Yeah, Tina's to me logic and reason lead me to come to the conclusion that bringing a giant effing gun may not come off as peaceful. Yeah, exactly. there's so many things in our current reality that just seems like it would be easy to reason through, but that's honestly the problem, and that's why it's important for us to come together, gather the people that are thinking rationally, so that we can start really solving these problems in the world. Hello, Warlock. Oh, I might have missed Warlock. Tyler says, I agree, vigilantism shouldn't be tolerated. No, absolutely not at all. And especially in context of like being a Hyperion, we're a movement, and even though we very much promote individuality, we need to move forward as a collective, as a group, together, as, you know, as a movement should be. And you don't do that with one person, like, just christening themselves or dinging themselves with a fairy wand and being like, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this and end lives and bring something to the table that is obviously dangerous. We as Hyperions are meant to move forward together. Vigilantism and this self-deputizing crap just doesn't cut it. Like, definitely not a proponent of crazy violence. Definitely not a proponent of, and I don't even mean like I condone like rioting either, but I don't think it's fair to call, just blanket label everyone as rioters either. That's absolutely asinine to me, how that's the language that is being not only just kind of lightly chosen, but very strongly implemented throughout this entire trial. So, if you don't mind, shall we move on to our other topic? Does anybody have any questions? I'm trying to think of like how we can pick out the shadow out of this, but honestly, it's just the shadow content is so overwhelming to me. Oh, I need to change this to live chat. There we go. Nice. Now we're seeing all the... It's kind of weird. Honestly, it's weird. I feel very extra uncomfortable in this world where, in this country where the majority of people are just hooting and hollering and cheering for this. It's very strange to me because now I'm very wary to like, who's next? Like, what do you do if there's somebody with a gun who thinks they're there to protect things? You just stand still and let them shoot you, I guess. So, up next on our list, I just wanted to touch base. Hey, JS Clay, how's it going? Hello, John. Dart Simpson, hello. So now that we're nice and irritated about the news today, I wanted to talk about more strangeness of people and what's just widely accepted. And I feel like there's such a disconnect with emotions here with these people and pretty much their emotions and the rest of humanity. Like, there's just a lack of connection there. And I'm not somebody who's going to sit here and be a huge proponent of like emotional intelligence and things like that. Those kind of things, they have the tendency to go a little too far sometimes. Or at least people can take it and obsess with it a little too far to where they're just essentially operating and navigating through their life purely emotionally, even though they think they're doing it, through logic and reason. You still want logic and reason in your life. But, you still need some emotional intelligence and emotional awareness, and sometimes you have to make decisions based on it. You have to factor in emotions with some decisions. And when you got people like Elon Musk, they just completely lack any of that. And they're honestly just kind of scary people to me that have so much money that they're just so disconnected yet with people, and they don't really connect with humans. And they're quite otherworldly, but in a very bad way. Like, they're definitely not evolving or anything in that sense, like we really emphasize here in hyperianism. But these billionaires, yeah, exactly. They kind of, if I had to put it, I don't want to say like they are sociopathic and outright, but like, I mean, that's pretty much the direction I kind of feel like I have to go with this because of the extreme disconnect, the antisocial behavior with these billionaires. So we're looking at this that just happened recently, and it really doesn't, I will never sit here and flip-flop over Elon Musk and it's like, oh, he has the right to his money and stuff, he earned it and whatnot. It doesn't matter. He's already, had he's got Tesla, he's already had it, he's already done some very terrible practices. I don't care how he got his money. He's done some terrible things with it, and that's it. So I'm not going to squabble over that. We are not going to waste our time with that, absolutely. But this pretty much is like in a nutshell. So, pretty much Bernie Sanders shared a tweet that said the extremely wealthy need to pay their fair share. And as of recently, Elon Musk could face a potentially massive tax bill for not having to pay taxes some time ago. And so, in response to Bernie Sanders, Elon Musk simply says, "Oh, are you still alive?" Or, "I didn't realize you're still alive." Just completely. It's just, it's total, I feel like it's total, what's the word? Passive. Yeah, it's very passive. Anger, absolutely. And, it's definitely, it's going to be inevitable here with the billionaires getting more and more taxed. As hyperianism rises, this stuff is going to go down. Taking a little break. Whew. Does anybody have any questions, comments? Oh, yeah. Criteria for yeah. Bye-bye billionaires, for sure. Alright, 1 second. Sorry, everyone. Oops. Oops. Sending the wrong ass shit to people. Wrong link. I have to like pull up my own live stream. That's funny. There we go. There we go. All right, we are back to business. Who do we have in the chat still? Loppy, who do we have in the chat? We first discussed, begrudgingly, some of the Kyle Rittenhouse controversy, which is just very difficult to discuss. Because it makes me angry. It's still not surprising, though. And then we have the recent controversy, or little back and forth between Elon Musk and Bernie Sanders, where Bernie Sanders pretty much called out the rich elite, and Elon Musk, being a rich elite, barked back very spitefully. And it's just, it's so revealing. And I think it'll, for me, not. And I don't think it should be for a lot of Hyperions, but, you know, for some people who are just becoming Hyperion, it's revealing now just how troublesome this reality is currently. This is the reality we are living in, where these people like Elon Musk, these Kyle Rittenhouses, are very much taking the lead in the world. How many other Kyle Rittenhouses are we going to have? How many more Elon Musks are we going to have? Poor Elon. He needs to get up there with the penis rocket. That's probably why he's so bitter, honestly. He just didn't cut it with the dick rocket. If I had to pin the shadow of billionaire, that billionaire trope, I guess it does seem kind of cliche, but I guess it would be somebody who is, you know, in touch with humanity, somebody who is, you know, it's like their whole Abraxian mindset is way distorted. It's like opposite, like, or it's almost like, I mean, it is kind of a form of collective thinking, but it's really distorted and dark. I do have one more subject to get to, but I think we might skip it just because we ended up having so many problems with the live stream earlier. We ended up getting started really late, but that's okay because we'll have like plenty of more stuff to chat about in the future. Is there anything anybody wants to chat about now? We are in the midst of shadow season. We've got the shadow issues going on of these people. Oh, I kind of wanted to get to Mr. Beast. But I want to pull up the control room so I can see how long I have been live for. 41 minutes. Alright. Yeah, we might have to continue the rest of this next week because we got started so late. But that's okay. I'm so glad we got to get on here and say hello with each other and say hello to each other and all this and that. Can we move on from his creepy face? Yes. Big face. Let's see. Let's talk about Mr. Beast, says J.S. Clay. So the controversy and that's been with Mr. Beast, and let's get our thing back up because we lost our thing here. So the thing with Mr. Beast is that you all know about the recent major Netflix television show, Squid Game. And then you have Mr. Beast, who is a very well-known YouTuber, content creator, this, that, the other, somebody who actually has quite a bit of money. And so Mr. Beast has taken it upon himself to essentially completely recreate the whole set and all the games within Squid Games for certain people to participate through it, and for, you know, a sum of money. And the gag is, or the controversy that people are having a problem with, that I don't necessarily share myself. I just think this is something interesting this is an interesting concept to think about. So this is more of a jumping off point for me than anything. It's the concept of taking this, because the Squid Game was meant to sort of, the story behind it, or the moral of the story was, you know, how insanely, you know, there's rich elite, how insanely rich they are, detached from humanity. Remember back before I was talking about Elon Musk and sharing that I feel like, you know, there's something weird with rich elite and their detachment from emotions and humanity and things like that. I mean, for God's sakes, like, look at Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump, I wouldn't say is necessarily like super rich elite, but I mean, he's kind of seen aesthetically as such. I don't know. I don't really see Trump as much of a rich person anymore, just kind of more as a very, like, cash poor rich person. But the show Squid Games highlights how much the rich elite is just kind of detached from the rest of humanity, to the point where they're just, and pretty much from any, like, most forms of pleasure, they indulge in so much that nothing seems pleasurable anymore. And so they pull people in to get, you know, a jolly off watching people go through these games. So it's very reflective of kind of what's going on in society right now. I mean, as we just saw before in real life, before our very own eyes, somebody who very much made a rational statement of, hey, the super rich should actually pay their share, they should be well taxed. And then you have the rich elite trope person, the perfectly personified, like, rich person, clapping back with the, oh, I didn't know you were alive, you know, just a completely, like, aloof or just disassociated response, like, completely removed, like, there's just no connection there in any form, way, shape, or form. So it's a bit of a controversy when somebody like Mr. Beast, and I don't really want to get into Mr. Beast himself, that's not the point of this. What I really want to discuss here is putting lots of time and money into a concept of showing or highlighting how reality really is at the moment, how bad it really is, or even worse, I feel, putting in a lot of money into a lot of story, like, of a revolution, and people getting really into that story and that idea and that fantasy of revolution, but they just kind of, like, thumbsuck with it on their couches at home through the stories and the movies and things. And no actual revolution, no mental revolution happens. And I don't mean, like, revolution as in, like, pitchfork revolution and torches, wave your torches. I mean, like, an actual mental overtaking of these terrible irrational ideas, or preventing people who are just so disconnected from the rest of humanity and their emotions and out of touch with everybody and disassociative, like Elon Musk, like, take them out of power. We need people in power, and we say this in hyperianism a lot. We need people in power that are, one, very rational and logical, and, you know, definitely know a thing or two about economy and things like that, obviously, but we need somebody who's very compassionate. The compassion is important, and we don't need this heavy polarizing opposite of that where we got these super love and lighters. I mean, that's all fine and dandy for certain individuals, but humanity itself does not need this heavy love and light like coming back over it. We need the balance. We need the rational balance. So I'm not actually mad at or anything or upset at the concept of or Mr. Beast creating recreating the Squid Game, because frankly, the money put into that doesn't even come close, doesn't even hold a candle to the amount of money that these rich elite people have in their pockets, and I think that's what we need to stay mad at. Is these extreme rich people that really just have their shadows just are so heavy. Like, I mean, it's hard, like, it's beyond me, like, why people don't see it. But as you can see, we are going to start, as a society, apparently allowing more and more of these kind of people to rise up to power. Because I bet you, more than anything now, Kyle Rittenhouse is going to get a lot of deals. I think he's already been offered some like political internships. So I bet you he's going to be on Congress like someday, or like senator or something. So we really need to focus on calling out to the people who aren't so red-pilled like Kyle Rittenhouse, like into like this sort of like sick Americanized way of thinking. You know, I wish I could be a lot more proud of my country, of America, but frankly, when they allow this kind of thing, I feel like there's a sickness within it, and I think that's the note I'm just going to end on tonight, because I could go on and on and on forever. It's a very upsetting situation. But it's also important to take this anger and this upsetness and use it as inspiration to keep speaking out, keep moving forward, keep being a proponent of hyperianism, and keep representing hyperianism the best I can. So I honestly would like to just end on this note. The next subject, I mean, it's funny, it's kind of like off on a different subject, but with the events that have taken place today with Kyle Rittenhouse, I think I kind of want to end like on a little bit of a serious note. There's somebody that's going to be seen as, you know, the good guy with the gun, and it's no good. So, I hope you enjoyed this chat. Once again, I apologize for the breakup in our, like, stream. I feel like that kind of lost a bunch of streamers or chatters today, people in the chat, because the stream kept restarting, so they probably just gave up. And fair enough. I love America and my heart hurts because I know we can do so much better. Yeah, I really look forward to having a like Hyperion New Terra that just like overturns America, and especially the judicial system, so that we can have a much safer and better America. We don't need to take it back in any way. We need to push it forward and remake it something else. Yeah, we need rational, logical experience and compassionate people. We really do. We need compassionate people. We need people. Wild. Mr. Beast looked at Squid Game and decided he wanted to be this guy. Okay, that's a pretty good job. I mean, come on. If you're gonna do that, you gotta expect a few jabs. That's hilarious. Let's see. The fact that Mr. Beast is trying to recreate Squid Game in real life is so weird. Like, how do you miss the plot this hard? I mean, don't blame Mr. Beast for this narrative, honestly. I feel like it's ridiculous and kind of dumb to get mad at Mr. Beast. Like, why? That's not where the being mad at... That's like the same thing to me as getting mad at, like, Starbucks cups. Like... Why get mad at that when there's so much more horrible shit going on in the world? Like, frankly, I'll watch it. I'll enjoy all of it, too. It's the concept of... It's the heart of, like, the message that, you know, there's so many hearts of the message or whatever. But for me, I think what I really want to dig into, you know, for Shadow Season and stuff is diving into, like, just the disconnection that these rich elite people have with themselves. There's just, like, no interstar actualization going on there. And this is what we're all about. And it's so that we can progress forward as a humanity. Because if we just keep having psychopaths as people to look up to, people like Kyle Rittenhouse, people like Elon Musk, people like, you know, all these, like, weirdos, we're not really going to progress very far. We're going to stay where we're at. This is why we are where we are at. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming to my Friday night chat. Please let me know if you like this. Next week we will have more subjects to discuss, and anybody at any time can just ask me questions about any Hyperion related stuff, such as shadow work, self interstar actualization, all that stuff. Last week for Monday, or at least earlier this Monday, I released my first ASMR video. Please check that out on my main page. Next week, I will be releasing the second part. This is kind of a roleplay ASMR. It's not the annoying stuff, you know, where I just scratch and, like, chew into the microphone. It's very nice, quaint, like, roleplay, like, it's raining outside and we're inside a Hyperion temple and I'm checking you in. Thank you, John. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Please give me critique. Let me know if you like this. If you think I should dive deeper into things. If you think I need to tighten up. If you think I need to chill out. Things like that. I love your feedback. I love hearing what's going on. And I have a Discord, too, for patrons. If you join my Patreon, http patreon.com/Jan Erickson. We actually have a secret Discord community within that, and through that we also have some strange dream group where you have to decode some interesting messages that I make for you, some really cryptic messages. And we start doing experiments in our dreams at night. So if you're into that stuff, if you want to get in on our secret community and in our secret dream club and stuff, please check it out. Join my Patreon. There's a lot of mystery to be had. And we are going to dive more and more into Shadow this Shady Shadow season. Thank you, John. Wonder why we are where we're at. Exactly. Yes, join us in our secret Discord for dream experiments. And I still got big old loppy lumps for adoption here. These are so freaking cute, and I've got a lot more big ones. I got the seafoam color ones. They're really cute. These ones are huge. I'm soon out of big ones, though. They're very limited. As soon as I run out of these big ones, I'm not getting them again. Anyways, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for spending your Friday evening with me. I'm going to go finish my dinner. All of you, have a good evening. Have a good weekend. And I will see you Monday when I post a new video, a new ASMR video. And please join us in the Discord chat for, some weekend fun. We like to play around in there and have some fun and goof around. Anyways, perfect. That's the Monday Monad theme song. All right. Good night, everybody. Love you. Have a good weekend.